I do see what they're trying to do. They're trying to fill a void. They got to fill that other void. Like she needs somebody to play off of.
I 100% understand what you're talking about because it gets a little clumsy when you get to that particular scene, especially when she corners Nora. You're right. They had the plot armor McGee in there because first of all, let me go back. Everybody knows kung fu.
Right. Everybody.
Tom Hardy is doing flying kicks. I mean, the girl, she was helpless. All of a sudden, she flying through there. I said, "No, wait a minute. You know how to duck and dodge and dip and dive and not get shot." They are using automatic weapons, like you said, that are shooting an unlimited. Let me tell you,
the unlimited clips. Yo, I thought about you, man. I said, Josh is losing it right now. Nope. What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Cinema Goodness Podcast. I'm Kaheem. This is JP. What's going on, JP?
Man, I am good. Glad to be here for another episode.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. We got another good one for y'all today. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us episodes 4 through 6, and we're going to hit y'all with some trailer reactions. We got Ironheart, we got Superman, and we got Jurassic Park Rebirth. And we're going to end off with Netflix Havoc, starring Tom Hardy. Very good episode for y'all today. So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. Let's get into this cinema good. We're dealing with this Last of Us, man. We gotta bite down and follow through, man. It's rough. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's rough, man.
Yeah. So we're on this second half of the season, and we'll do a quick recap. So we've got episode 4 where we get to meet the Wolves group, and this now let me tell you, after our last review, episode 4, it caught me off guard a little bit because they introduced the great Jeffrey Wright, excuse me. Yes. And he is a great actor. Okay.
He's phenomenal, man.
In everything that he's in, he's always a compelling character. He captivates every scene. And so I was like, okay, they bringing in a new character. I believe he's Isaiah.
Yeah.
Is that right? Isaiah is his character name. But he comes in and, my hopes started creeping up. Because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. They're gonna bring somebody in and it's gonna salvage this mess that they have created. And then they promptly, after this great episode, didn't show him again. I guess I don't know what to say. The episode 4 was very compelling. I have to give them credit for episode 4 because you see that he is about business. When that conversation about them, how they took people's rights, and how he turned on Fedra, which that's essentially like the government agents that helped with the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse, and how he turned on them, and he took one guy out and was able to get that guy, and they go into the resistance essentially, and they start.
Was this like the start? They was telling like this was like the start of the wolf, like the wolf
exactly
militia type thing. This was the start. Okay, yeah.
It was kind of like an origin.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised to see Jeffrey Wright, man, but because I'm like, I couldn't believe like he was a part of it, and for as short as it was, you know what I'm saying? Like he was in and out. He did have that one cold scene where he was kind of like that torture scene.
Man, that's why I said that this particular episode, if 4, 5, and 6 had been on the level of 4, I might have a different opinion about this season. Yeah. But to me, they had a strong episode 4 where you see where he has this, he wants to save the world, he wants to do the right thing, but then you see by the end of the episode he's really just as bad as the federal agents,
Right.
because the guy that he's torturing, I mean, talking about graphic,
Doing
um
it.
that was a very powerful scene, but it was powerful. The actor that he is torturing from
Yeah, with
the group, I don't remember
stars.
exactly their name. The Scars. There we go. The Scars. They got the Joker smiles cut in, and they're the ones talking about feel the mother's love, or feel her love, or something like that. You know, it's a cult.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
but see, he was powerful too, because in that moment when that dialogue between him and Jeffrey Wright, he was like, there are people that are leaving the wolves all the time and becoming scars, but nobody is going to become a scar. So he essentially said, I'm inevitable. We're going to outlast you no matter what you do to me.
Right.
Even though he was in this horrible position, butt naked, all burned up,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright burning them with pans and such. Man, that was a crazy scene. That's why I see my hope ticker. It went up.
Yeah.
And they promptly disappointed me, because when we went to episode 5, we started dealing, as Shannon Sharp might say, with this bull jive between Dina and Ellie. We come back down to that. What do you think about episode 5?
So, episode 5 is when. See, I like episode 5 because of the smart ones.
Was it the romance?
Was it the episode 5? The smart ones? That's what,
Yes, they do get attacked in episode 5 by the smart ones that they foreshadowed earlier in the season.
right. That was my favorite part. Like now I get they're trying to build this relationship, right? And they're trying to make us believe in this relationship between Dina and Ellie, right? And for me, I just don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they needed somebody to take Joe's place, and they just threw this girl in here. Even if this is how the game was, you know what I'm saying? Even in the game, I would feel like I don't like this character. It's just I don't, it's not for me. But I do see what they're trying to do. They're trying to fill a void. They got to fill that other void. Like, she needs somebody to play off of, and I think that's really her purpose. But in episode 5, I really like that smart one scene, and I like how they kind of tied into the scars when they was running from the smart ones or whatever, and like all the people came rushing in and they like trying to fight their way out, and they end up in the woods, and I got to see that ritual part, because when they first got there, we see the intestines hanging out, and I'm like, damn, how they get all up there and all of that, and they let us in on the ritual part, and that was the coldest part for me, like those two scenes with the smart ones and that ritual. But then now I'm thinking about it, we found out that they found out why the door was sealed. They were saying the door was sealed because something got out, and we didn't want anybody to get out because there's a type of infection, and they go underground, we find them spores. And that part was crazy, like, because I didn't know what to expect when they went down there, and that part gave me chills, bro. I was just like, the willies, yeah, so it had its moments. I would say it did have its moments, but this whole thing with Ellie and Dina is kind of like, I really don't care about that. I want to see what Ellie is going to do about Joel, and that's really all I care about. We did happen to see one of the girls that had something to do with Joel's death, and Ellie kind of corners her, and which was crazy to me, because I'm like, it was too much talking for her to be, I know who she was looking for. She's looking for the girl that actually did it right, but it's too much talking. Like,
I 100% understand what you're talking about, because it gets a little clumsy when you get to that particular scene, especially when she corners Nora. The girl's name is Nora, because they knew where Nora was because they had been listening on the radio. So they knew the first one they were going to find was Nora, because they've made a point to say they feel like nobody's listening, so they're constantly talking, saying where they are and stuff like that. So that part was clumsy, because it's like you have her, you got the jump on her, and then it's like plot armor. They figured a way for her to get away and then run and finally end up in the underground portion of the hospital where the spores have taken over. So yeah, that part is that whole chasing scene, and she's screaming, telling the other people with the wolves that there's a intruder and all of this, and that was kind of unbelievable, because it's like, you telling me y'all got all these people and nobody can catch one person,
right?
That part was
long, like she hit a few corridors, a few hallways. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody there. Like, are you kidding? Nobody? No.
Yeah, that part was real clumsy. And the part that I 100% agree with you on is when they got down into the lower levels, where essentially the cordyceps has taken over that whole area. It's like it almost looks like Avatar, because it's very colorful, and it's everywhere. It's covering everything. It also reminds me of some scenes from I don't know if you've watched The Rig. That also has the same kind of those vibes, where this entity is taking over this area, and it kind of looks similar like that as well. But yeah, that part where the spores are coming out, that was absolutely cool. I love that, and essentially that made sense. Essentially Nora was going to get turned, but then Ellie was going to beat her down anyway. It just was kind of clumsy getting there. But let me backtrack for a minute. You mentioned a void. That's exactly what the whole series feels like now without Joel. That's why my hopes jumped with episode 4, because I was like, oh, okay, so Jeffrey Wright is going to fill this void, and I didn't even know he was going to be on the show. So when he popped up on the screen, I was like, oh, now wait a minute, we got somebody who can fill the void of Joel. And then in that episode, they made him so strong, they made his character compelling enough that it would make sense that he could fill that void. But then episode 5, he's gone, so the void is still there. And so they're trying to fill it with Dina, but it absolutely feels forced. I think because it feels forced is why it doesn't feel real. The way the relationship is, even from what they have shown us thus far, for Dina to be saying to her, essentially she has Ellie on the level of her real family from the way they described it. And I'm struggling to understand. They just had a first kiss like a couple of episodes ago. And how did we get, and there's no time jump in between that and this. There are some time jumps and flashbacks in this season, but this portion of the timeline is just over maybe a few days or weeks. So it's been a very short period of time, and for her to have Ellie on this same level as her family, I would have done anything to go and try to save them. And now she's essentially saying, that now that she's speaking, and I knew she was pregnant when she first started throwing up. I didn't say it, but it was in the back of my mind. I said, she pregnant, and I couldn't figure out who she was pregnant by, whether it was Jesse or Joel, because I thought she had something going on with Joel, but maybe I was wrong on that. You never know; they might surprise us with a flashback. But yeah, that part where that's being forced. It is it's an absolute weak point. And then we knew when they disappeared from the town that eventually somebody was going to follow them. So we get the confirmation finally in episode 5 that both Tommy and Jesse, Tommy is Joel's brother,
Yeah.
and Jesse have followed them to try. And of course, Jesse comes up right in that scene with the smart zombies, and he doesn't see that the girl is getting bit, but he swoops in just in time. I knew that was coming because you're not gonna just disappear and nobody's gonna chase after you when quite a few people in the leadership of the town actually agreed and would have come with you. So that was going to happen. But they keep emphasizing Ellie's flaws. Ellie went into that hospital knowing now Jesse just came and saved your behind. Dina just got shot with a bow from the smiley face people.
Yeah.
And they're running for their life, and instead of you trying to go find and help them, you going into the hospital by yourself.
Yeah, to find Nora. So they like story wise, like there are like some strong points that they're trying to make, right? Like somebody has to know that Ellie is immune, right? Like
Okay.
so because they have to have somebody to help keep her safe. In order for somebody to help keep her safe, they gotta know really know who she is, right? So that's who they're trying to make Dina try to be. That's why they had that scene where she got bit and she was like, I'm immune. Like she had to tell her who she was, right? So when Jesse comes and Ellie is bit, and he said, didn't you get bit? And then Dina jumps in, no, she didn't get bit. She's fine. Whatever. So I have somebody that kind of has her back, right? That's one point.
Exactly.
And we really didn't know what the issue was between Ellie and Joel when the season first started. Like we knew there was some friction. We knew we had an idea, but we really didn't know. So later on,
episode 6 laid it out.
Episode 6, we kind of we answered that question. But as far as episode 5, man, the highlight for me was the smart ones and her kind of finding that underground sports thing, and Nora kind of telling Ellie, do you know what Joel did? You know who he is and all of it. And she like, I know, and she kind of beats her to find I forget her name, the girl that she's looking for,
Abby.
So, Abby, right. So they have some strong points. It's difficult for me to connect because of what we talked about before. We really don't know these characters. Like it's like, and because we know it's only going to be 7 episodes. So now how are you going to try to tie this all in one final episode after all the stuff that we see? So
and the strongest character that they brought in post Joel, they've only shown one time. They alluded to him being on the front lines in episode 5. Episode 6 was completely a flashback for the most part. We don't come back to present time until the very end. So in that one, we get to find out essentially how they became a part of Jackson. So it brings you all the way back 4 or 5 years to when they first get to Jackson and how they are acclimated and how essentially Joel is really leaning into Ellie as his daughter, spending time with her and making these memories. So that part was very good because Joel was back.
Right.
And the world made sense again. But you have this in the back of your mind, that Joel has been killed. So this is only gonna last for a short period of time. So it's kind of bittersweet. But we get to see, all of those things. They take us 4, 3, 2, 1 throughout the episode until we're all the way back to present time. We only see the present time like the very end. So most of 6 is backtracking. So we find out finally, the town psychologist, she had mentioned that earlier in the season that Joel had killed her husband.
Right.
So we get to find out on Ellie's first, and she didn't do a patrol until she was 19. So like when they went back, I was counting the time when they got there. She was 16, and then when the first flashback was 4 years back. So when they started coming back at 19, after we're down to only 1 year in the past, that was when she did her first patrol. That's when the psychologist's husband gets bit. I guess he was on the patrol as well. But see, this opens a can of worms.
We see Ellie being immature again, right? But okay, so I'm struggling with that scene though, because I kind of understand.
Which one? When they get back after Joel kills the psychologist's husband?
Yeah, after that, and she actually okay, so Joe sees the guy, he's been bit, right? So they give him a test, right? He said, I want to go back and see my wife. We know the wife is the doctor, the psychologist, or whatever, right? We know that, right? He wants to see her again and, say his goodbyes, right? Joel is on some, nah, bro, like, you got bit, we got rules, I got to put you down here, right? So we see this kind of tug of war between Ellie and Joel. Like, Ellie is telling him, no, we could do it, he can make it, he can say goodbye to his wife. Let him say goodbye to his wife, right? So Joel says, okay, sure, go back and get the stuff and I'll bring him down, right? So what I liked about that,
he swore.
Yeah, he swore, right? He promised, right? He promised
that he would let that man see his wife. That was the key.
This is what I like about that whole setup. From the beginning, right? We see Joel trying to be this protective father figure for her, right? He wants to make her happy. He's kind of replacing her as his daughter. We said that, right?
Yeah. Because he lost his daughter at the beginning.
Yeah, that little flash, that part before they go see the doctor, she's like rehearsing this type of questionnaire that she's gonna give Joel because of what happened in Salt Lake, right? What happened with the fireflies, right? So I like how they set that up because it pays off in this scene with the doctor when she's having that doubt. I like how they planted that seed when he was like, I promise I'm not gonna do nothing, when she looked back at him, right? So I kind of understand Ellie's point of view in this scene. And even in this episode, like she put her trust in Joel and he lied to her about something that's serious and he did it with a straight face, like over and over again. Like, I get that part, right? So after Joel kills the husband, Ellie comes back and sees the guy dead, right? And it kind of confirms her suspicions about Joel lying to her, and not being like totally honest. And it kind of breaks her heart, So I get why when they finally get back to the doctor, and Joel's like, I'm gonna tell her a story. I'm gonna tell the doctor a story to make her feel better, so she can kind of move on. And when
that was a mistake because he was lying his behind off.
So who do you think the mistake was on, Joel or Ellie, in that situation when they talking to the doctor about her husband? Because Joel lies and tells what happened. He doesn't tell her the truth, right?
He doesn't. And see, I think that what pushed Ellie over the edge was that he took it too far.
Yeah.
He could have just said that he wanted to see you, but he could have just laid it plain. We couldn't endanger the town.
Right.
He made up a story that he killed himself. He took his own life by his own hand. And Ellie is looking at him like, you are lying to her just like you lied to me.
Yeah.
And that is what pushed. She was already at the edge, So it was like, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. Right. She was already trying not to lose her head. So when she saw that, she was like, "Oh no, this man been lying to me. It is absolutely confirmed now."
Yeah,
So, she
she
was
couldn't take
blowing
it.
everything out the water at that point.
Yeah, she couldn't take it. She couldn't take the lie. You know,
Yeah, Joe was definitely wrong. He was
he,
wrong
yeah, he was wrong for
because he
that.
didn't have to lie. He didn't have to do that. He could have just said. He could have made it plain. And I
Yeah,
think Ellie would not have gone off the deep end.
yeah.
When he started landing on thick, that was it.
He didn't want to endanger the city. He took his own life. Nah, nah. So yeah, man. This season is rocky, man, because like I said, like last season they had 8 or 9 episodes. They had 9 episodes, so they got 1 episode left to kind of like tie everything together, and it's hard for me to kind of see me walking away satisfied from this season. It's gonna be tough, man. I don't know if it's like a 2 hour type of situation or if it's just like a straight 1 hour episode. But with everything that's going on, it's gonna be hard, man. Is she really gonna find Abby in this one episode, and like they gonna fully explain the wolves and Jeffrey Wright's like what he's actually doing, his motivation, like why do we care about the wolves and what their bigger plan is, like all of these questions. Are they gonna tie that into episode 7? I don't see it. So
I mean,
rough, man.
it would have to be like a feature length 2 hour finale. I haven't looked up the runtime. I doubt that that's going to be the case. Even if it was the case, that's a whole lot still to try to fit in. What I will say is this: the emotional gravity, the seriousness of what was happening in that last portion of season of episode 6, this whole weighty issue, what the whole reason why Ellie was mad at Joel is, to me, I feel like makes it an even greater indictment on how they have Ellie acting, because Ellie has been through some tough stuff. She has been through stuff that will grow you up for real. The only person you cared about lying to you here. I mean, she made the point. She said in episode 6 that her dying to create the cure was what her whole purpose was. And then she turns around and acts like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
That's, to me, it's very rocky, because it's like how can these two characters, I understand people can have this trauma that they deal with but also be immature, but at the same time it feels like her character they're trying to put two sides together that don't make sense. And that's why when they have episodes like episode 5 where they focus on her a whole lot, it drags down, because you're like, this don't make any sense. It does not make any sense for what they have been through for her to be acting how she's acting. So yeah, I think the points you made about the emotional toll, and I will give them credit in episode 6, how they brought that in, how all of that works in, her feeling so betrayed after she's gotten so close to Joel, and he put in an actual effort. I mean, if you remember Joel, it seemed like it's been a long time ago, but Joel didn't care about anybody.
Right.
When we met Joel, Joel was somebody who was concerned about himself and himself only. If you were in his way, he would shoot you down. He didn't care. He was a rough customer. So for him to turn around and be able to re-access all of this fatherly love that he has for his own daughter, and then re-experience that with Ellie, that's why the show feels like it's got a hole in it. Because we understand, with all of that emotion and all of that depth that we saw in episode 6, Joel is dead.
Yeah.
And this particular flashback brought us all the way up to, it brought us all the way up to the point where we're back to, the present time. So we're back into the situation where Now Joel is dead, and Ellie is acting a dummy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give you a whole lot of hope. I'm hoping that they can pull something off. I think we definitely need to see Jeffrey Wright in the finale. Yeah. It's a travesty we didn't see him in episodes 5 and 6 because he's the most compelling character. I have to jump back for a moment because I had made a mental note about this. The lady that is the leader of the wolves, when they were first talking about, she was interviewing the Asian, one of her Asian deputies.
The Asian lady, yeah.
Yeah, who ended up losing a lot of her people. They were, essentially like a debrief, because they said she said you killed a bunch of your own men. Yeah. And she's describing, well, essentially the virus has changed how it transmits itself. So they went down there and they were all turned.
Right. One of those people was her son too.
Was her son. Yeah. That's how the leader knew she wasn't lying, because she would not kill her son for nothing. Right. But the reason I came back to this is a juxtaposition between the leader of the wolves and Jeffrey Wright's character, and even the other characters. When she's sitting there, when I tell you she looks like a bump on a log, she has no emotion in her face. She doesn't even seem like an imposing or intimidating character. Yeah. She has, just bland, nothing. So I'm like, you giving us a little glimpse. You got to give us more so we can jump back in. I was teased with episode 4, but I want to see more. If they can, Jeffrey Wright, in my opinion, the way they introduced him can truly save the show.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah,
but I fear, not knowing the source material, that he won't last very long. Yeah, I fear that he won't be on the show very long. I don't know. Because you think they would have kept him on camera if he was an important character.
Yeah. And maybe they were just trying to tie off that loose end between Ellie and Joel. I'm sure this is probably going to be like one of the last times we see the Joel character. So they probably just had to tie it off so Ellie can kind of like start carrying the show on her own, I don't know, man. Like episode 7, it has to pop, or I don't think they'll get renewed.
Let me tell you something. I think they've already proven that Ellie can't carry the show by herself, because when they immediately replaced Joel with Dina, they showed their hand right there. If Ellie could carry this show, then they would not have needed to replace Joel. And I mean literally replace. All the stuff that Joel would do is like a moral compass and the smart person who knows how to get out of trouble when Ellie's being dumb. This person is thinking with their brain. They replaced Joel like that with her, even though she wasn't a great replacement. So I mean, I don't know that Ellie will ever, in this, the way she's acting now, I don't think she will ever be able to carry the show. Not in my opinion. Do you think she could carry the show herself?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know the storyline after this. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to imagine. Like I said, episode 7 has to pop. It has to. Yeah. Because if it doesn't, I don't think they're going to get renewed for a 3rd season. And I don't know. Man, it's going to be tough for them. If they can't really make the audience believe in Ellie and what she's doing.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Man. So where you at? What?
We're about to do. I was about to ask you the same question. Is your rating a little better, or is it worse, or is it the same?
I would say it's the same. I can't move up or down, because it has its good points, but it also has some points that I'm just like, I'm not feeling, So I'm at the same. I'm not gonna say it's worse because we have that spore situation. Okay, so this is another thing, right? When Ellie was down there and all those spores was like all over her, right? When she walks out of that place, won't she take some of that stuff with her? Even in the rain, it was raining on her and stuff, but even then, like all that, it was a lot of like air and like on her skin, on her clothes, you know. So they didn't hint to that. Like what's the effect of her being down there for so long and then coming out into the atmosphere, into the regular world or whatever. You know, there's so many questions, man. And that's what I'm saying. I'm stagnant. I'm just floating right now. I can't.
I
say
mean,
for sure.
you make that's a great point. I have actually been wondering. They have not shown it, so I'm assuming at this point that the show just is not going to pull that thread. But she has used her knife on zombies, and by this exact same thing, I'm thinking by this time you would think that somebody would have been infected by just transferring from the knife. And in this, now we're in this instance where they're dealing with spores. It's just contact with something that was in contact with cordyceps enough to transmit it. So I think we're going to find all of that out. The people who watch the game, y'all probably know because it's part of the lore. But you know, I'm just along for the ride, and we'll see. Because I mean, if you're going to talk about spores, to me, that's something that should be able to be transmitted just from her, you know, rubbing up against people, because that's how spores work. Spores are in the air.
Yeah. I don't know.
So my rating, I think last time my rating was like a 3.5, somewhere between 3.5 and 4. I'm gonna give him I'm going up to 4.5 because of the potential of Jeffrey Wright. I know what kind of actor he is. I know that he could save this show if they use him the right way. And that's, I mean, 4.5 is the best I can do. They have not changed the Ellie situation, but I also give them that because episode 6, bringing back Joel, it felt good. Yeah. Because to me, I don't care how much the show is about Ellie being the immune person. Joel is the heart of the show. He's always been the heart of the show. So him coming back and us actually seeing how they got to where they were emotionally, that bumped up my score a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Well, season episode 11. Episode 7 is going on Sunday. Sunday. Yeah. You know, we gonna see, man. Hopefully everything.
We gonna see.
All right. Let's get into these trailer reactions.
Absolutely. Which one are we doing first?
We're doing Ironheart first. Marvel Ironheart.
Hello? For real?
The air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what is this?
Your interview. You'll suffocate and die unless you break into the device on the floor, where you'll find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
Riri Williams was a genius. So you in or out? Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable, something
important,
iconic.
It's a brand new
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision. But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew.
I could chew a lot.
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that.
This is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
All right. What you think?
What do I think? I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm not. First of all, let me say this because I'm gonna give this disclaimer because there's a lot of people who are trying to drag Marvel and drag this. Give this an opportunity, okay? I'm excited. I think that we were introduced to her in Wakanda Forever. I will not talk about Wakanda Forever. You know how I feel about it already, if you know me. So I think that this is a good start, and I'm hoping that they don't play on the black young criminal aspect of it. I'm seeing a little bit of that. I don't like that. I know that's a little bit of her backstory, but I'm hoping that they kind of tweak it because that just seems like a little bit I don't know, a little bit tone deaf. I'm hoping that they because I don't think she should have to steal anything or do anything like that to be who she's supposed to be. But beyond that, I'm excited. I'm going in with like average expectations.
Right.
Average expectations.
Yeah.
What about you?
So, one of my, like when I'm watching like superhero movies, I always kind of judge it off the antagonist. Whoever's opposing the hero kind of makes it for me. You know, if that makes sense. I'm interested to see this guy, you know, with the bullets in the hood. He had the stuff on his back, like kind of like the veins, like crawling down his back. So he might be like mutant or have some type of mutational power. So I'm interested to see how that kind of develops. This guy that kind of offer gives her the golden offer, basically, kind of like, I can help you fund your dreams if you do this for me. That's kind of like what I'm getting from this. It's gonna be like she's gonna get into something and it's gonna be bigger than what she think it is, and it's gonna kind of like change her way of thinking about the type of hero she want to be. That's kind of where I'm seeing this series going. So it's interesting.
Well, I might be wrong because I have not seen Brave New World yet. Mm-hmm. But I thought that the guy with the hair that you're talking about is wasn't he like the sidekick to the Falcon? To Anthony Mackie?
He's not the Falcon. He's I don't know who he is. The Falcon was somebody else. He worked closely with Sam Wilson. So yeah, that's not the Falcon.
I'm getting him mixed up there.
Say that again?
I'm getting him mixed up then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who this is. So I'm just interested to see him. And what kind of opposing forces he gonna be to Riri, you know, and seeing how that develops.
That makes sense. And you're right. The villain is a big part. If the villain sucks, then it kind of makes it's kind of a letdown. So I'm with you on that. I'm not clear who the villain is based on that trailer.
Yeah.
Because is it the guy she was talking to who had the missiles with the Live Laugh Love sign, or is it the other guy? Because see, the first guy came to her like he was trying to help her. So right. I don't know if he's trying to fool her, but he ends up being the good guy, and this other guy's the bad guy. I don't know. So they're doing a little bit of misdirection, which is good because trailers be trying to show too much sometimes.
Yeah. Right. All right, man. So real quick, looking at it, you had a comment from one of our videos, kind of centered around the Fantastic Four. I'm guessing. Um, it's
Okay.
from Gotti Fame 3424, and I'm gonna read. I'm
What
just
do you
gonna
have to
kind of
say?
like paraphrase it. Yeah. So this is the problem with Marvel, in his opinion, or
Okay.
her. I don't know who it is, but aliens who intend to destroy a planet for their super alien purpose will not inform primitives whose existence is insignificant. So I'm guessing they're saying like the villain, if somebody's coming to destroy the planet, they not about to make some big announcement, right? They just gonna do the thing, right? So from their perspective, they're saying just let the humans figure out what's going on, and then kind of warn everybody and try to solve the problem without the villain saying or like making their claim or like like saying or the big threat because how we had this Fantastic Four trailer, they had the Silver Surfer kind of say, "Yo, your planet is marked for death," and like fly away. So I'm thinking that's kind of what they're talking about. That's that part. Like from their perspective, that would never happen. That's just like kind of like it doesn't make sense for them. I'm guessing that's what they're saying. Like their villains are too like informative. They just talk too much or whatever. So that's kind of what the comment was. So I'm gonna say when you're writing a story, you gotta not only inform the people in the story, but you gotta inform people outside of the story, and you gotta take them
Okay.
on a journey. If the villain just comes and destroys everything, you're not really taking the audience on a journey. You're just showing them one moment. And I think that's like why we write stories, why we watch it to watch it play out. Um,
Mhm.
Granted, I do think like the villain monologue has been overdone, but it does like if you do it right, it informs the audience and it also pays off like the hero's journey. If you do it right, sometimes they do have them long monologues and be like you don't have to give me all that. That's too much exposition. But
Mhm.
um, I think Marvel does a good job with the villains. Um, since Thanos, it's been kind of difficult because he kind of had the strongest purpose and strongest reason for doing what he did. But I still I still enjoy the way they write their villains. It's not too much, and it's kind of like you believe that that they like watching the villains. You feel like they really mean to be who they are. Like it's not fluff, and you know
Okay.
that's kind of what I think about that. So
No, I think that's a good point. That's an interesting comment. I think that it all depends on what the purpose of the villain is, as to which direction they go. Because you have a lot of stories where the calamity just befalls. Like for example, A Quiet Place. There's no explanation. That you just see fireballs come down from the sky, and when they
right,
crash, you got aliens attacking everybody.
yeah,
And there's never any explanation of nothing. They figure it out as they go.
yeah,
Um, but the great example you brought up, when Thanos comes to a planet, he has oh gosh, I can't think of his name. Ebony Maw. Ebony
definitely.
Maw is
Hear me
his
twice.
exactly. He got to do his. He's the one who does all the monologuing.
Yeah,
But I will give Ebony Maw credit because Ebony Maw is a fighter too,
yeah, he come with
and
it.
that fight scene after when he's announcing that Thanos is coming,
Yeah,
but the Avengers step up. That is probably one of the best fight scenes in the whole movie. That's Infinity War, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's Infinity War. Um, but Galactus, because that's where this person's comment is coming from.
Yeah,
Galactus has a herald. That's from the comics. So
yeah,
I get what you're saying. that if this were real, intelligent, alien life, they wouldn't announce themselves. I mean, I guess so. It all depends on how they want to attack you.
Right.
And it depends on the strength of the villain too, because some villains, they are going to get you through cunning, so they have to create chaos and get you fighting amongst yourselves and
Right.
sow division, and then they attack. But
Yeah.
some, they're so powerful, it don't matter what you do, you're not going to win. So there's not going to be any warning. You're just going to get hit. It all depends on the story you're trying to tell. So that goes back to your point. I think either way it works.
Word up. Well, thank you for commenting, Gotti Fame. If you see this video and you want to comment some more, let us know what you think, man. We'd love to hear from you.
Exactly.
All right, man. Moving on to, we got another trailer. Superman. James Gunn.
Let's hit it.
Let's get it.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for
I
what
know,
some
it's
might.
a lot of fire,
It's a
but-
lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States will
representing
cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
All right. Oh man, so we coming off of Henry Cavill Superman, Zack Snyder Superman. Now we got James Gunn version. What you think about the trailer? That was your first time seeing that trailer, right?
Yeah, that was my first time. And I had seen, I think they had a teaser a few months ago, and I saw that. But this was my first time seeing it. I don't like the costume.
Right.
I'm gonna start there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a little worried about how many villains the trailer is putting forth. We're seeing, I mean, like at least six. We know Lex Luthor is always his villain, but we've got Godzilla looking monster. We've got other alien. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, how we're going to be focused. If they can bring it together and be focused, there's some. I like this one better than the last one. I'll give it that. What about you?
The look better.
Yeah, because I saw more. He looked really dopey in the first trailer. He didn't look Superman,
right.
and that's partly because Henry Cavill, in my mind, is the best physical look of Superman that we've seen on the in a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm comparing in my mind against that. But beyond that, this trailer shows a little bit more. So I'm intrigued. I'm definitely going to see it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it, man. I want to see it in its entirety. I feel like he's doing like a classic Superman type of feel with it's kind of like a full scope type of DC type of movie. Like you said, it's a lot of villains. You got a lot of extra characters in it. So it's probably gonna feel really massive as far as like the scope of it. Like it's just gonna feel really big. I'm not a fan of the suit. I'm not a fan of Crypto. I feel like I don't like the breed. I hate the breed of the dog. I feel like it should have been like a boxer or like a I don't know, something a Labrador. I don't know, just like I'm not taking it serious enough. I see him. Okay. Like you said, looks dopey. Like that's how I feel looking at Crypto. It's like comical almost, not like cinematic epicness like Superman. I'm not getting that type of feel. I'm getting like a Superboy or like My New Adventures of Superman. Like something like that. Like it doesn't feel serious enough. But we'll see. Lex Luthor, he looks cool, but he looked like he kind of bit a lot of his mannerisms from the Lex from Man of Steel. No, from Man of Steel.
Okay, gotcha.
What's his name? I can't remember his name, but the most recent one before him.
Gotcha.
Kind of a Smallville type of thing too, but I don't know. We're gonna see, man. I'm not gonna shoot it down. I think it's gonna be fun to watch, but I don't know if I'm gonna get the same type of feeling I got from watching Henry Cavill. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think what we're probably gonna see is them trying to lighten, because DC has been notoriously kind of dark and dingy with their superhero movies that they have made. And so they're gonna probably try to infuse some humor into it, more of like what Marvel kind of does. So I think we're gonna see that, and the tone of the movie will be different than what we have seen in other DC movies. So we shall see.
All right, James Gunn, keep working, doggy. You do good work.
The question is, do you trust James Gunn? I think that's really the question on that one.
Yeah, that's the burning question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that right now. Do you trust me, James Gunn? I don't know. Man. Because everybody got their own interpretation of what Superman's supposed to be.
True.
So, I don't know. I'm going to reserve my full comments for when I actually see it.
Oh yeah, because it will have its own review, most definitely.
Sorry. All right, man. One more. We're doing good.
Okay.
We're doing good. Jurassic World Rebirth. I said Jurassic Park Rebirth, but it's actually
You did.
World. I'm sorry about that, people. Let's go.
Look at the dress!
Sorry.
Please open the door for me!
the island we're headed to. 24 species have survived there alone.
The theme park owners did experimental work, leaving only the worst ones here.
Don't see that every day.
Or ever.
Let's go.
If we get this DNA, millions of lives are saved.
Maybe we should make this quick, huh? Time to move.
We put ourselves in a place where we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
That's kind of our specialty.
She's scared. She's scared though.
Come on! Run!
We're not gonna let you get hurt, okay?
Hey!
Then was the source. We found it? No, it found us.
I'm excited already.
Yeah, man. Jurassic Park don't do no wrong, man. I don't think I've seen a bad Jurassic Park or Jurassic type of, film. Because it's a Jurassic World, it's a Jurassic Park.
They're good. They're good. They know their audience. They know what they're looking for, and they stick to it. So I'm right there with them. That's the kind of trailer that gets me excited. I'll be ready. Right.
And I know Industrial Light and Magic, they did the effects, man. I'm sure, and the dinosaurs look phenomenal, like they always do. So,
matter of fact, I want you to roll back. Can you roll back? There was a scene I didn't see it clearly enough.
Okay.
It's a dinosaur I've never seen before.
Yeah, they got some dinosaurs we ain't never seen. Like,
okay, can you roll back the trailer? Run it again. Just run it again. That's how you know I'm excited about something I want to see again.
Well, it looks like they experiment on different dinosaurs. Kind of like where they left off before.
Yeah.
It's kind of like mutating, like genetically.
Yeah, mixing up a bunch of dinosaurs' DNA.
Right. And now you got Mahershala Ali, you got Scarlett Johansson,
The theme park owners did experimental work, leaving only the worst ones here.
T-Rex is classic. That's the heart of the franchise is the T-Rex. They got him swimming.
Don't see that every day.
Or ever.
Let's go.
If we get this DNA, millions of lives are saved.
Maybe we should make this quick, huh? Time to move.
We put ourselves in a place where we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
That's kind of our specialty.
They got the scientists, the plastic scientists, that's all.
She's scared though.
Come on!
It's coming.
Yeah, it's like a predator dinosaur, man.
What on earth? It's got a big forehead.
It's like the
Oh
predator.
man. Okay. I'm geeked out now. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. That's great. That's great, man.
That look like the Xenomorph.
Yeah. Yo, yeah, for sure, man. It got a lot of it look crazy. It look crazy, man. But I'm excited about that. All right. Got one more for y'all. Havoc. Havoc just
on
dropped.
Netflix. Yeah.
On Netflix. April 25th.
All right. So we're gonna jump in. After a drug deal gone wrong, a bruised detective must fight his way through the criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son, unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares his entire city. Havoc is a 2025 action thriller film written and directed by Gareth Evans. The film stars Tom Hardy, Jessie May Lee, Justin Cornwell, Quellen Sepulveda, Luis Guzman, Yo Yan, Timothy Oliphant, and Academy Award winner Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, man. Tom Hardy, man. I like this role for him, man. It didn't seem like it was out of his comfort zone, but it didn't feel like he was just along for the ride. You know, it felt like he really like put himself in the role and did some good stuff, man. Got a lot of action in it. Real stylized. Got like a Sin City type of vibe without the color grade and type of, you know, just like the comic book style like film look. And it had a lot of good like motion. The camera was moving really well. The fight scenes was well choreographed. Yeah, I thought it was a fun film, man. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. Definitely, it struck me the everything that you just mentioned, how it's filmed, how it looks, and one of the things that really caught my eye in the very beginning of the movie was how they made the police chase scene. They made it seem like a video game almost.
Right.
The way the cars were moving, like when they would accelerate, it felt very Need for Speed. It had that feeling, you know, Grand Theft Auto. It had that feeling to it. Even though it was still real life, when they were like racing and chasing, it felt very video gamey to me. So I was like, whoa, I don't know that I've ever seen that in an actual live action film before. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It looked like they took a video game and put it in a movie and like, let's make a movie off of this, like this cop video game. You know, it felt like real fun like that, real energetic. Like it was like heavily stylized, man. Even in the colors of it, it was just like real heavy contrast, a lot of black and like crushed blacks, deep blacks, a lot of deep reds. Real stylized palette, man. I was pleasantly surprised. I like seeing Tom Hardy on screen. Forrest Whitaker was amazing as always. So I like I like the story, how they brought us into it, how they kind of had like Tom Hardy dumping his body. You know what I'm saying? And then later you find out he's a cop. You know, like dumping his body. So it even makes him a little bit more interesting. Like, oh, he got some dirt on him, you know. So it was real fun, man. Really fun.
Definitely, having some dirt on him is an understatement, because the whole way the film, he looked dirty the whole movie. I mean, it was
like he took a shower.
Yeah, very grimy, but it fit him. It felt real for his character. And so I enjoyed that part of it. I wasn't expecting the fight scenes to almost feel like It seems like there was a lot of martial arts mixed into the fight scenes.
Right.
It felt very much like a martial arts film in
Mhm.
those sequences, and then on top of that, add like a lot of blood gore.
Yeah.
I was really I was blown away by that part because I didn't expect it, and when I saw that it was like a repeating thing throughout the whole movie, so you get people getting impaled and killed, and you know, it wasn't just a shoot 'em up. It was like you're gonna see everything. So that part, you know, actually was pretty cool because I wasn't expecting it.
Right. What you think about the kind of like the storyline? We had like this mayor's son got involved into this like this crime thing because of his girlfriend. And in the midst of that, somebody gets killed. Like this, the head of this organization gets killed. And then we kind of find out that, you know, the mom comes back into the States, find out her son is killed, and she believes it's one person, but it's not really that person. And she kind of like goes through this movie thinking that this person killed her son, but they really didn't. And it kind of like backfires on them at the end, man. Kind of like how'd you feel about that kind of twist?
This movie was about family.
Yeah.
Amazingly enough, because it's about how, you know, you have one crime family, which is their, you know, strictly a crime family, and that is the Asian, they call them the triads, and then you have also the other crime family, which is represented by the mayor, his son, and the police, because he has been using the police to do all kind of dirty work. So they are essentially his gang that he's been using. He got dirt on everybody, and they're all dirty.
Right.
So you got the mayor trying to protect his own blood, and then you got the triads trying to get vengeance for the murder of her son. And then, I mean, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, how is she going to get this reveal? What is going to happen where she finally gets this revelation that her son was betrayed by his own, because it was his cousin or his uncle?
His uncle.
It was his uncle.
Yeah,
by his own uncle. That's right, because he's the sister of the actual leader of the triads,
right?
The mother. That's right. Yeah. So I was waiting on how they were going to do that reveal. She killed a whole lot of people before she figured out. She had a trail. She was no joke. And the girl with the pink mohawk, man, she was her enforcer for real.
Yeah.
She was like, whatever it is, I'm down. I can take it down, right down to the very bloody end.
It's funny, man, because like these movies like this, they always have like the cold henchman or the enforcer. It's kind of like always like a woman, and she's like the baddest of them all. Like she could beat everybody up, do like all this dope stuff. But one of the funniest parts of the movie was with her when they was fighting inside that cabin, and you know that stuff fell on Tom Hardy, and when she lifted it, he shot her with the harpoon and went through the throat, right? And it's like this line. She was like kneeling down, but like as she was kneeling down, she was still trying to like jug Tom Hardy. Like if you pay attention, like, she was still trying to. And me and my wife, we laughed about that, but we kept reminding her, man, because we just like she was really trying to get that last kill, and that's how dedicated she was to kind of like finishing the job, like. And I was just like, man, she's really dedicated, bro. Like it's in
She
her.
was like, if you're gonna take me out, I'm gonna try to take you with me.
Try my best. And that scene was crazy, like, and she just like leaning, and she was like, yeah, that's my favorite part, man.
And they did justice to the blood in this movie.
Yeah,
it felt more real than even Sinners. So when I saw the blood, it looked like blood.
Yeah.
It may not have squirted, and like the movement of it may not have been as realistic, but it looked more like blood. So I give him credit for that.
Yeah. Okay. What the cabinet scene, the final scene, right? When that's like the climax, all the shooting, all the guns. Like the thing that was so crazy to me is they didn't get shot one time. Like Tom Hardy, the girl, and the guy, like they didn't get no bullet piercings, no nothing, no scars, nothing, bro. They didn't get. All it was is just like blood on them. I mean, you mean to tell me it's like 20 people outside shooting automatic rifles, and you don't get shot one time? Nothing. Like it was just way unbelievable for me, bro. Like that was crazy.
You're right. They had the plot armor McGee in there because first of all, let me go back. Everybody knows kung fu.
Right. Everybody.
Tom Hardy is doing flying kicks.
Yeah.
I mean, the girl, she was helpless. All of a sudden, she flying through there. I said, "No, wait a minute. She got kung fu too." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Everybody know how to fight. Everybody know how to shoot. It's like it's very gamey, like video game.
Yes.
It's real
But
style.
you know, it's even though that part was a little unrealistic, I was able to suspend my disbelief and enjoy the movie because once I realized that that's where it was, I was like, okay, I got it. Everybody know how to kung fu fight. Everybody know how to defend against a knife attack. You know how to duck and dodge and dip and dive and not get shot. They are using automatic weapons, like you said, that are shooting an unlimited. Let me tell you,
the unlimited clips. Yo, I thought about you, man. I said Josh is losing it right now. Nobody reloaded.
They did show a couple of reloads when they had pistols, but I'm like, first of all, he has shot 30 rounds.
Yeah.
He should have unloaded twice by now. You showing us you showing us a tactical reload now. You might as well not show no reload. He just shot five magazines of bullets with no reload.
Like y'all know better. Y'all just didn't care. Y'all didn't care.
Boy, that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
How many of the triads died? Because they have an unlimited number of people to just throw.
It was coming from under the ground, from around the corner, from the ceiling. Like it was just everybody from everywhere.
And getting slaughtered.
Yeah. Like they don't know how to fight. They Asian triads. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to
They're the only people. The Asian people in the movie, the only ones don't know
how to fight and shoot. Crazy, man. But that's how you know they have fun making this movie because they let you know how stylized it was from the beginning. Even with them throwing the washing machine on the car and the guy just like squirting blood and so I was like, okay, this movie about to be crazy. You already know it's about to be too much.
Felt a little Tarantino-ish in there.
Yeah,
I felt the influence of Quentin Tarantino in this most definitely.
Yeah, man.
It didn't take itself too seriously. Sometimes that's important for a movie. Don't take yourself too seriously. We understand what we came here for. Let's enjoy it and have a good time. And that's exactly what this movie did.
Yep.
After all of that shooting, Tom Hardy didn't get shot until the very end. When it was only one person shooting him with a semi-automatic, not even an automatic firearm.
Man, it was fun.
That's when he got shot.
Yeah. It was fun, man. What was your favorite scene?
Ooh. It's between the club fight and the cabin fight. Because the club fight was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Because you had so many different groups. You had the dirty cops as one group. You had the triads coming in as another group. You had Tom Hardy, and that's when, he was just trying to get the girl. So she was fighting him too. Everybody was fighting each other. So that one was good. And then in the clubs, the cabin scene as well.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah.
I agree. I was in the cabin, man, and when that lady got shot, she was still trying to jug, bro. I lost. That was my favorite. That's my favorite part. But, yeah, man, it was good. What would you rate this film?
I'm gonna give it a good 6.5.
Yeah, I was at a 7. 7.
Yeah, 6.5. Yeah, because it is what it is.
Yeah. Would you watch it again though? Like if it was on, would you stop and watch it again?
Not sure about that.
Okay.
Not sure about that part. I don't know. What would you?
I would watch the action scenes, like the car chase. I'll watch it for that. Like if I wanted like an adrenaline rush, I'll watch those scenes like for that because it had a pretty solid story. And you know it was fun. So if I seen it and it wasn't unknown, I'll watch it again.
Yeah. One interesting part is the whole chasing somebody that's actually innocent. I think that that part was really interesting because most of the time in that situation, the person who they're chasing is probably pretty guilty of whatever it is. Right. But because they're on the good guy's side, we want them to survive. In this instance, they actually did not do nothing. Yeah. They just happened the wrong place at the wrong time. When their friend that snitched them out when he got killed, that was a good point too.
Yeah, when he had the door closed and he just like trying to She's like, come on.
Because I don't know what I guess I don't know what he was thinking. You're dealing with gangsters. You think they're gonna let you survive, sir?
Right.
Just because you rat somebody else out?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you talking about when he snitched on him and Shorty shot him up outside? For sure.
No, the pig was like, no, we didn't give it. We came for you. You will die.
Yeah, you useless. Yeah. And because you're a snitch, we don't really know if we can trust you. You might snitch on us or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yes, sir. All right, family, that's it for today, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the podcast, man. If y'all got any questions, if y'all want to see us review a different type of film, show, cartoon, anything, put it down in the comments. We'll be sure to check it out. Anything else, JP?
No. Hope y'all enjoyed the cinema goodness.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one, man. You have a light that is out of this world. Let it shine and be the richness that this world deserves. Much love, family. Being rich.
Peace.